Hello and welcome back to another video. It is another Tuesday evening spent in my spare room, sweating all over the place in the ZRL. Today's event is the Sprinters Paradise, something like that. I don't know what it's called. Basically, it's 12 sprint segments. Most of the points are given for first across the line, I believe. So the focus is to stay with the front group for as long as possible and try and contend for foul points throughout the whole race. That was my game plan. Marco, I'll put a link to his channel as well. His game plan was to try and get the fastest through segment points. So we kind of had a team trying to sweep in to get some points. Ended quite well. I think we came second overall in the points, which is amazing. I might be wrong on that, to be fair, but at this point I'm not too sure. So the first sprint is coming up shortly, but this lead-in was pretty tasty. It always is in the C category. People just go off so quickly. But yeah, this first sprint, the tower sprint segment, wasn't really sure what to expect. But yeah, I give it a good go. I mean, I don't think it was worth any points. At this point, I'm just kind of testing the legs. Wasn't too sure how I was going to perform in this race because I was carrying quite a lot of fatigue from last week. I think racing Tuesday and Wednesday evenings consistently for I think 6 weeks in a row now at least has done a number on my legs. So yeah, I did a lot of stretching, did a lot of recovery rides this week just to try and prepare for this one. As we move into the Castle Park sprint, this one I don't think I really go for it. I mean, I have to push a little bit because I don't want to get dropped. But yeah, I'm just sitting outside of that top 10 again, unfortunately. I'm not sure if I get fastest through segment. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think I might have got some FTS points there, which is decent again. So my total points tally for this race was 99. I was 1 point off of triple digits, which would have been awesome. I was also one position away from podium finish, which would have been amazing. I really want to get on the podium before I get upgraded to a B cat. For some reason, this sprint really suited me. I seemed to sit in the wheels for like a good half of it, and then managed to find another gear and come past people. So I don't know if this is the one where I come first. No, not quite. But yeah, another good result. 6th wheel, I think, or 5th wheel through that one, and one of the fastest times through that segment as well. So yeah, keep an eye out because for some reason I performed quite well on that longer sprint. So this is just after the climb, and I've never done this route before, so I wasn't quite sure what to expect, but this guy blasts past, so I try not to get ahead of myself. Obviously I dropped the drafting boost. This is another long one again, I think, so I know that I've got to keep my power pretty high for a long time. But yeah, here's where I drop some power. Just basically my plan is just to get into the top 10 every sprint, because I don't know how long I'm going to hold on to this front group. But in between each sprint, this front group was going so slowly. I mean, you can tell by the chart, we're still in the first lap and I've got grey and blue on the chart, which is really unheard of for a C-Cat race. It's usually orange and red. But yeah, pretty tame in between the sprints, to be honest. As you can see, a good amount of recovery after that sprint. And yeah, we roll around, you get a good amount of rest in between the 4th and coming back round for the first sprint, so the 4th and 5th sprint. But yeah, here we go again. I went a bit earlier this time. Again, fastest through segment points aren't really necessary at this stage, so you've got to make sure you're at the front of the group for the sprint. But yeah, power is slowly waning away. But I think I didn't quite manage to get into the top 10, which is unfortunate because I just burnt some matches and I'm not going to get any points for that. This one, to be honest, I don't remember all of the sprints. There were so many, and this race was a bit of a blur because when 1 minute your heart rate's at 185, the next minute you're trying to recover as much as you can. I gave every sprint a good go, just because the nature of the race is that if you don't sprint, you're going to get dropped off the back. There's no way you're catching up to people when they're doing 50Ks. But yeah, I managed to get some more FTS points through that segment. And here's my favourite sprint of the day. I'm pretty sure, yeah, this is another one. So we've already gone through the sprint segment, and I'm already doing 250 watts, which is nothing. That's what I'd usually do just around a normal ZRL race. And I realised that no one's really picking up the pace, so I think I might actually go for this one. So I think I managed to peak 1000 watts on this sprint. And yeah, managed to come through, catch them lacking a little bit, and get a second place, which is, third place on that one. And bump my FTS time up as well, so even more points in the bag. And then I can't remember, is this the second time? Yeah, this is the second time doing this one. And again, the group is kind of spread out a little bit because the climb seems some people pushed it, some people didn't. I just tried to hold in the middle of the group, didn't want to come off the back, didn't want to go off the front. And yeah, same thing happened again here really. The group doesn't seem to want to go that fast, and then I wait until about 200 meters or 100 meters even to finally put some power down. I peaked about 500 watts, and I'm still rolling through in second or third place, and I only put out about 550 watts. So the bang for buck on that section was, right up there. On this one, so this is the background for the first sprint again, and I'm getting the hang of using the aero boost and the van, timing it, because obviously one's 15 seconds, one's 30 seconds, so you've got to be quite tactical. This is one of the only sprints I actually got out the saddle for. I don't know why, I just spin up too much to get out the saddle usually in these sprints. But yeah, so I was kind of executing my plan at this point. I didn't think I'd make it to the third lap, but yeah, just trying to stick into that top 10 for as long as I can. I think this is one of the only ones where I kind of just was not interested in sprinting for points at this point. I put a dig in just to make sure that I don't get dropped, but I'm nowhere near that top 10 or nowhere near got the legs to get FTS points. But yeah, this last lap I was feeling rough. I wasn't sure if I was going to be sick or I was going to, come out the bottom, so I was really struggling to hold on. Couldn't wait for this one to end. So yeah, here again I'm doing 270 watts, which is nothing to go through a sprint segment, and yet again the group is not really doing much, so I wait to go through those weird bends that don't exist and then drop some power. Again, not much power here. I think the peloton is really struggling with the legs wise compared to me. And yeah, I roll through in first place on this one, which is beautiful. First time I've won a sprint segment or a KOM or anything like that. So at this point, this was a bit of a crunch point on the climb. I find myself right at the back, and the group is slowly thinning out. People are going down the road, and obviously, if I'm trying to get FAL points, I need to be at the front of the pack before the sprint, or so for this, for the sprint segment. So I'm really working hard here, trying to get back onto that pack. I know there's another little climb, so I'm basically just going to push it up that and try and carry that momentum onto the sprint. And I think it worked quite well actually. Obviously it was my fault for dropping off the back of that climb, but it played into my favour because it enabled me to use my van and come past as many people as possible. I probably should have activated it about now, a bit earlier than I did, just to get the maximum benefit. But yeah, so I'm holding about 300 watts and I'm gaining on these guys, and once I sort of get into the peloton, get into the draft, is when I'm going to start putting down the power and come through and try and pick up some more foul points. I really didn't expect this race to go this well, to be honest. The legs felt good. I did some stretching before a race today, which might have helped. I might do that next week, you never know. And that is the last sprint segment of the race. So this is the final sort of sprint, which is for the finishing points. Now, I am, very excited to get off the bike at this point. I feel like I'm going to be sick. I find myself at the back, and then I find myself at the front. No one, everyone's jostling for positioning. And at this point, I can see people's elbows start flapping a bit, and the peloton pushes on, and there's a lot of pink and yellow wheels flying down the road. So yeah, at this point the power goes down. I'm in a decent position to take as much draft off people as I can, and that's 400 meters to go. Drop my aero boost. I think I timed that quite well. I might have been a bit early, but yeah, again, not a massive sprint either. I didn't have the legs to do any more than 750 watts, so stayed seated, came past as many people using the draft boost, and yeah, managed to pick up 4th place. So close to picking up the 3rd place as well, but it is what it is. The podium's there for next week, and yeah, I'm literally hyperventilating at this point. Feel like death. If I wasn't clipped into the bike, then I'd probably fall off of it, Mark Lewis style. But yeah, that was one of the craziest races I've had. It's just a brutal format. I mean, that chart is just ridiculous. You can't train for that. It's craziness. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. If you've got any tips, tricks, then leave them down below. If you enjoy the video, you're enjoying the journey, then remember to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. So close to 100 subscribers, which would be really cool. So yeah, cheers.
Well, that got a bit intense.